Meet Stefan Weinert. For decades, he's been working for Roche to create the tools that help those with diabetes. From monitoring devices to work on an artificial pancreas.
One of the reasons that I joined Roche was to do something with my education. I'm a physicist by training that was positive and really had an impact on patients' life.
His wife Sandy also works in the diabetes unit there.
I'm a biostatistician working in our clinical studies department.
The area I've been working on the research side, I got more and more involved in what it really meant to have diabetes and so on, but everything was theoretical, of course, until it really happened.
Their story seems almost too coincidental to be true. The Weinerts have 3 kids, Alex, Andrew, and Douglas. And in 2009, the nature of their work came crashing into their family life when their youngest, Doug, was just 9.
We had seen some issues with him being very short-tempered before. He would get very angry at things that it was blown out of proportion. It was much more severe than what it should have been. Symptoms of drinking a lot of water, and even though you live it, you know it, you don't see it.
He wasn't feeling well, and so they took him to the doctor, and we came home with the diagnosis.
A glucose level of over 300 confirmed their fears. Doug had type 1 diabetes.
When we got the diagnosis, I think it was more along the lines, I cannot believe this is happening. There is no diabetes anywhere in either side of the family other than your grandmother, which is quite a distance.
When my mom came home, I remember I was sitting in the kitchen doing homework with my sister. She just came in and she walked in, she was like, Doug has diabetes, and just kind of felt like I was in a dream, like it wasn't real. And then it took a while for it to sink in.
Why does it have to be him? It was not us, but of course I knew it wouldn't change.
First, Doug was really, like, he wasn't okay with it. He was upset.
I just felt kind of sad because I thought I was gonna have to change a lot. I just thought I couldn't eat as what I could before.
I don't think he really understood for a while until we started giving him shots every day and checking him, and it finally sunk in that, you know, this is the way it's got to be. It's not going to go back to the way it was yesterday.
Over the course of months, Doug made the changes that are required for a type 1 patient.
Yeah, he had to check his blood sugar and he had to get shots. They had to count for carbs. I felt a little bad for him. It was something new and something that was going to affect everything he did, or most of the things he did.
And he has days when he really hates it and doesn't want to take care of it anymore, or is tired of doing it, and I understand. It's just the day-to-day and frustration of seeing other people that don't have it, especially his older brother.
Watching how type 1 had hit their little brother, Doug's siblings definitely had their own fears.
I think it was within the first few months, I checked myself and I was normal. But then Alex, she never wanted to check herself. She was too scared.
When Doug got diagnosed, I started freaking out.
And she started losing weight. As a 7th grader, she'd begun exercising more, but the weight loss was dramatic.
We went shopping and I was trying on pants and I really had to go to the bathroom, and got worried, and when we came home, she checked me.
And we had the tools to test her, and her glucose didn't come back over 300, it came back off our charts.
I think I just sat and cried for a while.
She was crying for 2 hours. It's kind of shocking.
I think mainly it was because now I had a disease, and that thought scared me.
The first 2 days I think were really hard for her. She was crying and so on, but I believe having watched her little brother for about a year deal with the disease and being able to manage it really helped her get over the problem.
Alex decided to take charge of her care. She did not want to be dependent on others.
I was told that I could get a pump, and well, that seemed a lot more appealing than shots every day.
She moved to a pump within 6 weeks and has managed herself on her own ever since. It amazes me to watch her. An insulin pump is attached to the body under the skin and delivers insulin on a regular basis to have a background or basal rate of insulin, so there's a little bit in her system all the time. And then when she eats, then she will just program the pump to give her the appropriate amount of insulin, and she doesn't have to do any injections. Douglas manages his diabetes with injections, with his insulin pen, his long-acting insulin and short-acting insulin, and it's been his choice. We really pushed 1 year to get him to try the pump, and he wore one for a week, and he didn't want it yet.
I didn't really like it because there was something always attached to me. I just wish that there didn't have to be a cord to make the insulin go into my stomach.
The family adapted to a second child with type 1 within just a year, sometimes feeling in control, other times not.
The nights are scary. Just the other day, just Saturday morning, I went to wake Alex up, and I called her name, and she did not move, and it just scared me. But I called her name again, and she woke up. The mornings are the worst, when you have to get him up, and it's, is this the day there's going to be a problem? And that's every day. That doesn't go away.
I remember the beginning when, especially with Douglas, you wake up, or we woke up 4 or 5 times per night just to make sure he's still breathing.
Yet as they face the fears universal to all parents of type 1 children, the Weinerts do have an outlet, their work.
It makes everything that I'm doing so much more personal, and I feel myself sometimes really, if I'm working on something, drifting off and seeing one of my kids basically using what I'm working on. But my attitude towards my work has changed, absolutely.
I've become more vocal in meetings to say, you know, that's a great idea, guys, but it's not going to work. And so every new product that comes through for me, I get the opportunity to kind of evaluate it on how we would use it.
And the kids can now appreciate the work their parents do.
I know that my dad helps develop these, like the meters and stuff.
It feels kind of cool because it helps me too, because he's working on it.
The family is now even more aware and appreciative of type 1 diabetes research projects like the continuing work on the artificial pancreas and other initiatives led by JDRF.
We used to donate to many organizations, and now everything's kind of funneled into the JDRF because they're going to be the ones that are going to cure this for us. They're going to find a cure.
Especially in the automated pancreas research area, the JDRF really has, in my opinion, has had a tremendously uniting influence on the research community.
They're absolutely a source of hope. JDRF is supporting so many different avenues, and they need help. They're not a corporation, they're not making money anywhere. They need us to help them do that.
JDRF means that there's like a hope for a cure in the future because of what they do. It would change my family's life completely.